I'm CK. Today we've got another one from Thonk Synth's new line of modules. This is T06 BUF, which is their buffered multi. Buffered meaning they're using electronics to ensure that timing and signal value is absolutely accurate, or as accurate as they can make it. So we can expect it'll have some surface mount op amps and then some other things to plug in, jacks and so on. Probably pretty simple. It looks like it's pretty inexpensive. I forget the exact price. I'll mention it in the next segment. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Here's the package from Thonk Synth. Picked it up from thonk.co.uk, of course. And it's T06 BUF. I've done a number of their other ones. I'll try to remember to put a list of them, of the videos, in the description. I'll probably forget. So we'll open this up and see what we got. We got this bag. All the bags are paper, which is good because that means they're all recyclable. Got everything out of there. Got your win 20 pounds off your next order. Got a little button. Got a Thonk sticker. I got all those already. So let's see. Again, I expect that there's an op amp or two or maybe three if they're doing 4 ins and outs already soldered on the board. Tearing the bag open. Yeah, there we go. Let me see if I can actually read these ICs. They are TI4AK, I think. So yeah, I'm pretty sure these are op amps to ensure that they're getting the voltage right and all that, which is good. Look at the front panel for a second. BUF, A in, and then 3 outs. B in and 3 outs, C in and 3 outs. I think they cascade too. So if you have A in and nothing in B, it'll cascade to B, and nothing in C, it'll cascade to C. I'm not certain of that, but I think I read that. And you also notice this is narrow. I think it's like 4U. It's pretty good size. Looks like a couple of LEDs to show when things are going through. So let's see what we're actually going to solder here. Yep, looks like that says D3, D4, D5. I'm going to assume that means diode, and it shows the plus sign for the positive, the anode side. Jack, 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 and a power connector. So yeah, there's not much to this, and there shouldn't be, but they're very obviously multis. As soon as you start getting serious about your euroracking, you quickly find that multis are your best friend for distributing an LFO signal, for example, or doing wet-dry on a signal. Let's see what these LEDs look like with my little LED buddy. They look like, this is the output LED, and they're orange. 1.9 volts, and that's it. So this will be really quick, and then we'll test it, and I'll get the soldering iron heated up, and we'll do so. Now let's put this fella together. Now I could look up the build guide, but I'm not gonna, because it's just some jacks, LEDs, and a power connector. Put the power connector on first. Since it's non-shielded, I don't have to worry about getting the key in the right position so the red stripe shows up correctly. I'll have to do that manually when I put it together. When I put it in the rack. Solder 1 pin, take a look at it, see if it's flat. It looks pretty flat, but I'll go ahead and give it a little touch-up. Nope, didn't move, so I got it in there flat. Let me get all these pins. There we go. Let me make sure I didn't bridge anything, and I didn't. That one could use a little more heat to get it around in there. All better. Okay, now we've got jacks and LEDs left. First we've got to take all the panel nuts off the jacks, so I'll skip over this in the video. Now we're going to set everything in place, and we'll set the diodes in place first. Long lead goes in the plus marked terminal, solder point, hole, whatever you want to call it. Now I'll set all the jacks in place. We're not soldering anything yet. Now everything's in place, so we'll set the front panel on to make sure everything's aligned properly. And again, we're not doing anything with the LEDs yet. We're just going to do the jacks right now, and then take my little clamp. It's from Wolfcraft, picked it up at Home Depot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder one jack up here and one jack down here. Now I'm going to put panel nuts on the two jacks I just put on the board, or soldered on the board. Oops. And I just put those on finger tight for now, and I really just want to do it so I can get the clamp out of the way. Now I will solder all the jack pins, and of course be very careful. There's a bunch of surface mount resistors and so on very close to the solder points, so you just want to be careful with your soldering iron. All the jacks are soldered. Let me double check, make sure I got them all. And I did. So let me go ahead and put the LEDs in, and you're going to want to push them through kind of like that. And you can do it one of two ways. You can have it all the way out, or you can have it recessed. I personally prefer all the way out, simply because it's easier for me if I'm looking at my rack from the side, which in my main studio I often am, because I've got my keyboard here and the rack, my keyboard controller here, and my computer, and the rack is off to the side. So often I'm looking at them sideways. So now we'll do one leg of each, because we want to be double sure we've got everything aligned. Now I'll take a look, make sure they're all out and at the right position for me. Do the other two or three leads. Now we'll put the rest of the panel nuts on. Now we'll put the power cable on, being sure that we put the red stripe where it says red on the circuit board. And that's it. Very simple build. Would be a great first build, and it's very useful. You'll need one of these somewhere along your career, so get started with this one. Here's the front, the side, the back, the other side, the top, and the bottom. And let me get set up to test this thing. We're in the rack, and I've got it turned on because I had to do some configuration. I wanted to make sure it was right, and I am having one little anomaly that I'll show you. Let me bring the scope up. So on the scope, we've got two LFOs running. That is the output from LFO1, that's the output from LFO2, and the bottom line, the magenta line, cyan line, let me try and adjust that. The magenta line is what's going to my little snare drum here. So currently that's coming out of input A, multi-A, and you can see when it triggers, the LED goes orange and then fades away. And as you watch, you can hear it. If I switch to the other out there, it's the same rhythm. Now, as you can see, I've only got one LFO plugged in, and it's triggering all 9 outputs. All the same, which is really good. So if you're doing a drum kit or whatever, this is very handy. I'm going to go here to to multi 2, and now I'm going to switch that one to, where is my, now this is the hard part, I have to figure out where my other connector is there. It's not that. I gotta search back. So confusing. Here it is. Now if I plug in another LFO to B, you'll see these are now operating at different frequencies, but the B is being echoed to C, which is what we want. So that's so you can have, say, a kick drum here and a snare there. Let me speed that up. So this can control a whole drum rig if you want. Let me go back up to the slow LFO. And no, I do not know why it's both coming out of the same LFO, and I'm getting a ramp on one and a square wave on the other. They both should be square waves. I do not know why that's happening, but that's okay. I just switched to a lower speed. Kick that back up. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. That's what multis are. It's just taking this input and splitting it between these 3 outs, this input between these 3 outs, plus these additional 3 outs, because there's nothing plugged into C. If I do plug something into C, then it doesn't reflect that. But since that module is not on, it's showing a white LED, meaning I've got no voltage. So as you can see, this, as most multis are, this is a buffered multi. It was very easy to put together, as you saw, and very, very useful. You will want, again, if you're starting to build up your own rack, get 1 or 2 of these because you'll find it very handy. The other thing, I hope we can see this, it's only pulling 10 millivolts on the positive rail and 10 millivolts on the negative rail. So it's very, very power efficient. So get one of these, a really good one from Thonk.